Okay, I think we are okay. Yeah, okay, we are live. So welcome everyone. Good afternoon and good evening actually. ഇന്ന് നമുക്ക് ഈവനിങ് കുറച്ച് പേരുണ്ട് and almost evening രണ്ടുപേരുണ്ട്. So welcome to everyone to SCT North America podcast episode number 9. Today we are talking with Vineeth Starly, who is from 2005 batch. Because itra aakkarulonda, I will quickly introduce everyone and we can get started. So myself, Atul John, 2008-2012 batch. Baki ellan 2008-2012 batch aanu, electronics and communication. I'm working at Cisco as a software engineer. Ashwini is from biotechnology branch. He is working near Toronto in the pharmaceutical industry. Hari is from computer science batch. He is working at Amazon as an STE/STM. Vishnu VA recently completed his master's in supply chain and he's working. He recently started working at a supply chain company. Tariq Feroz is an IIM B graduate. He is currently working with Deloitte as a consultant in the mergers and acquisition. Am I right? And he is currently in San Francisco. Like he is actually at Fisherman's Wharf right now. So thank you to all of our hosts. And guest ne sadharna, we let you introduce yourself. So നമ്മുടെ ഇന്നത്തെ guest is Vineeth. And just to be a little vulnerable, ഇതൊരു പോഡ്കാസ്റ്റ് ആയതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ vulnerable ആണ്. First time we are interviewing a senior, so I'm a little scared. But the format is little casual, so ഞങ്ങൾ എന്തെങ്കിലും mistakes ഒക്കെ ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ just bear with it and hope you have a good time.
It's okay. I'm the one who is scared right now. 5 people going to interview me now. Oh my gosh, this is going to be tough.
This is not an interview. So Ashwini,
High pressure.
Ashwini podcast on we told her this is not an interview. It's just a casual talk between some folks. So yeah, handing the stage off to you, Vineeth, with a quick introduction.
Okay, thanks, Atul. Hi everyone. My name is Vineeth. I graduated from SCT in 2005. 2005 അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഞാൻ മാസ്റ്റേഴ്സ് ചെയ്തു US-ൽ and I've moved. I did a master's in New York. After that I moved to California, got a job there. I started off in the chip design industry as an application engineer, and then that company that I worked in was acquired by Broadcom. So about 8 years in NetLogic and Broadcom combined. After that I moved to Google. Now it's been 6 years. 7 years in Google. So that's been my story. So then recently, till last year I was in the Bay Area, California. Then we just moved, the family, everybody, we moved to Dallas now. So I'm working from Dallas, Texas. Same job, still in Google. Planning to go to the office at some point in Addison, Texas here, close to Vishnu. And but yeah, still in Google. So it's nice to see you all. It's a pleasure to come here and see all the vibrant alumni of SCT, young folks doing great.
When you say young, we actually left college 10 years ago.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's all relative because I'm very old. I'm very old, so you guys are young.
It's all relative. Yeah. So anyway, like I think I'll get started off. So because I'm in the Bay Area, you were in the Bay Area, and you made the move to Texas. What decision, like what reasons did you have to kind of uproot yourself from the Bay Area and move to Texas?
Yeah, so for me, it's very specific to my situation. So my wife was actually born here. She was born here, and so she has many family members here. Although she lived in India, then she came back here. So she has cousins, and all of them have kids and everything. So just as a more of a family, for the kids to have their cousins grow up together. That is one area. Then Bay Area life was becoming a little bit hard. I was living far away from the company, and with the commute was about 1.5 hours one way.
Wow.
Morning, and then maybe 2 hours sometimes. So just one way. So that was hard. When COVID hit and I had to work from home, it was like a big, like the biggest good news I could ever get. It's like great. No more 4-hour commutes. So anyway, then So anyway, so we're in the beginning. So for many years, we were thinking at some point we'll move to Dallas because
Yeah.
of the family members here.
Mhm.
And then with COVID and all, things just moved faster.
Right.
I was never sure when I'll move, but finally it happened.
So, just before ബാക്കിയുള്ളവർക്ക് ഓപ്പൺ ചെയ്തവന്, do you miss the Bay Area?
Definitely. ആ ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ട് ഒക്കെ കാണുമ്പോൾ ലൈക്ക് ഓ മാൻ അവിടെ വിട്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ വന്നത്. So it's definitely miss the of course my life was there like for almost 13-14 years, so
Right, yeah.
all our friends there, we miss them a lot, but slowly we are starting our new life here. It's difficult. It's definitely last 6 months is not easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope things work out and you have a good time there. Apam, I think I'll get started off with Ashwini. Do you want to get started off?
Yeah. First of all, hi, Vineeth.
Hi, Ashwini.
This is the first time I'm also talking to a senior, so it feels weird not to call Vineeth sir or Vineeth Cheta, but yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. After this many years in the US, it's now hard to hear that even.
Yeah. So I was going to ask another question, but because of what you just said, I wanted to ask, since you have been in the US for so many years, do you ever plan to go back to India, or like this is it? This is what you where you plan to settle down?
Yeah, for me, definitely plan to stay here. So I was not born in India actually. I was born in Kuwait. So in my whole school time, I was in Kuwait, and then during the war, there was a Gulf War. 2-3 years, I came to India. So അങ്ങനെ കുറച്ച് മലയാളമൊക്കെ പഠിച്ചു, and that helped. SCT വന്നപ്പം ആ മലയാളം എല്ലാം യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റി. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ I would have been totally like a foreigner at that point.
SCT വന്നിട്ട് മലയാളം അറിയത്തില്ലെങ്കിൽ വെറുതെ വിടത്തില്ല.
SCT വന്നിട്ട് മലയാളം കുറച്ചുകൂടെ ഒന്ന് ശരിയായി. US വന്നതാണ് പിന്നെയും ബാക്ക്വേർഡ് ആയി. Backwards and back again. But anyway, so for me, most of my life I've lived outside India, so for me this is more comfortable, and then now there's family here, so I feel I'm part of a community and everything. So I'm very connected to people here, so that's why I will be probably stay here.
Nice.
So was that why you decided to like move abroad or outside of India, because you had like been born and brought up outside?
That maybe you can say it like that. I think ever since I was in school, I would hear of all these people doing masters or finding a job in the US. So it was always a dream in college and even before college to come to the US. So fortunately, things worked out, and many times it was not that easy to get that master's admission. And മൂന്ന് കോളേജിൽ അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്തു, ഒരെണ്ണം ഭാഗ്യത്തിന് എങ്ങനെയോ കിട്ടി, and then so that's how.
Yeah. Anyway, Vishnu, can you get started now?
Yeah. So hi, good afternoon again, Vineeth. It's really nice to have you on board in our podcast. ചേട്ടൻ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ, I mean, you were born and brought up outside of India, then you came to Kerala and did your engineering, then you moved out again for your masters. അപ്പം ആ ഒരു പ്രോഗ്രഷൻ എങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു? അതായത് മാസ്റ്റേഴ്സിന് ശേഷം ജോബ് ഉണ്ട്, അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഇപ്പൊ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്ന റോളിലേക്കുള്ള പ്രോഗ്രഷൻ എങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു? I think you were working in the semiconductor industry before. Now you are working in Google എന്ത് റോളിലാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ ജോലി ചെയ്യുന്നത്?
And technical account manager. That's my role in Google. So this is a mix of technical and business role. Although I have not done a MBA, my role even in NetLogic and Semiconductor was customer facing, solutions consultant anganathe role aayirunnu from the beginning. So that experience in NetLogic and Broadcom helped to get the job in Google. And the Google also, it's more of kind of a partner manager. So we work with Google partners to make. I work in the Chrome OS group, so to Google partners to develop Chromebooks. So it's an external facing role. We have to manage external stakeholders and internal. So it's kind of like a bridge role. But the name is technical account manager, but it's not a sales role. It's more of a partner engineering solutions consultant role, like a generalist little bit, you can say. But anyway, you asked about the progression, right? So first, so I did my master's. So then I was just looking for a job everywhere, and I was very one thing I was sure, I wanted to get a job in the electronics area, because something related to coding or embedded systems, because a lot of my experience and learning, everything was in that, right? So I was able to get a job like that in NetLogic. And then as an application engineer, I was going to customer offices. You have to go there, and we would work on this, chip design, verification and things. So we would give them our models, and things wouldn't work, and I have to be there facing them and somehow fix it as we go there.
So,
And then
sorry
go
to
ahead.
interrupt. So I'm very happy to see another applications engineer. But I'm Cyprus applications engineer. But when people ask me what is an application engineer, and it's very difficult to explain what we do. Yeah. And one thing I want to talk about is Amazon. So Lab 126 was one of our customers, and they are very ruthless. And when you talk about going to customer location, you have to sit there the whole day. And they are actually just waiting over you, like നമ്മുടെ shoulder മുകളിൽ നോക്കിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. Why is this not getting fixed? Why is this not getting fixed? That's the kind of pressure that Amazon puts on its vendors. But did you have to face something similar to that when you were an application engineer?
Yeah, I had to. One of my customers was Huawei, China company, and and we had to do the simulate. So I had to go to China. So I was there.
Wow.
I was sitting in their office, and they're like, "Okay, here's the simulation, and all. Now you look at this. Look, the one waveform. It's not going up or down." I was like, the whole model itself is a black box to me. But somehow, I would like take their phone and like, sorry, I have to make a phone call to somebody in the US. And then they said, okay, after lunch we'll talk. And then somehow, anyway, it was all a learning experience, actually.
Right,
in the end, everything was very good. And all that pressure in those days, it was fine for me, because I just wanted to learn. I wanted to be doing fun things, and a lot of visibility, right? When you go to a customer and you do some work and get the job done, everybody in your company will know, this guy did that, he went to this customer, and things like that. So it was a fun role, as an application engineer.
Anyway, I've introduced Amazon, so Hari ഒരു ചോദ്യം ചോദിച്ചോളൂ.
ആമസോണിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറഞ്ഞത് വളരെ ശരിയാണ്. കാരണം ഞാൻ ഇപ്പൊ എന്റെ ഡേ ടു ഡേ ലൈഫിൽ ഇതാണ് ഞാൻ ചെയ്തോണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഇന്ത്യയിലുള്ള വെണ്ടറിനെ വിളിക്കുക, ചീത്ത പറയുക, ചെയ്യില്ല, പ്രഷർ കൊടുക്കുക.
ഹരീഷ്,
എന്റെ മാനേജർ എനിക്ക് പ്രഷർ തരുന്നു, ആ പ്രഷർ ഞാൻ എന്റെ നത്തിങ് പേഴ്സണൽ അല്ലെ. അതെ, കൂൾ. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പൊ എനിക്ക് ചോദിക്കാനുള്ളത്, ഓക്കെ, സോ ഇറ്റ്സ് ഓൾ അബൌട്ട് ഗൂഗിൾ അഗൈൻ. അപ്പോ ഹൗ ഡിഡ് യു ക്രാക്ക് ഗൂഗിൾ? You said it's 6 years back, right? I mean, of course, Google have a higher bar compared to the FANG companies, right? I'm not treating the high bar. Like, how did you prepare? How did you get the interview or opportunity?
Yeah, so interesting story is in Broadcom, I got laid off from our group. They, Broadcom at that point, they were looking at which other groups not making money. So I was in the MIPS processor, one company called I forgot the name now. So it was a processing company, and anyway, that part I was in that group as a application engineer, but that was not making it was not profitable. They were making some money but not profiting, so they cut that group. So then I got some time to really regroup and think of my career and everything. So and I had one friend who a good friend of mine in working in Google. So Google was always a dream of mine. So I thought, okay, ask him. He referred me, and this position was open at that time, this technical account manager. And looking at that, it looked like very similar to what I do, because it's embedded systems, interface between software and hardware, and somebody who can talk across external business as well as the technical field. So then, luckily, because I was laid off, I was able to prepare and had enough time to prepare. No, don't have to work, right? So I prepared a lot. I think cracking Google, the main thing was just that interview preparation. And I was interviewing at other places also. So I interviewed at maybe 4 or 5. Out of that, I got 3. 3 of them, I got hired for 3 of them. So I was able to interview again and again in other places. And then then Google just came in the last among all the ones that are. So fortunately, at that time, I was, well prepared, ready to, answer questions. The mind was already ready. It was in this interview mode, right? So anyway, yeah. So that's how I think, just Google searching, what are the common questions in Google interviews. Just prepare those. Actually, let's read the question and see if you can answer it, right? Writing on a whiteboard or a paper, write code, all of that. So അങ്ങനെയാണ്.
So
എനിക്ക് ടേക്ക് അവേ ഈസ് ഗൂഗിൾ അവസാനം കൊടുത്താൽ മതി, ബാക്കിയുള്ള കമ്പനീസ് ഇന്റർവ്യൂ കൊടുത്തിട്ട്.
അത് ആക്ച്വലി ട്രൂ ആണ്. Like when I was giving interviews also, like my first 2 interviews, I was so nervous. Like ഞാൻ full day ഒന്നും കഴിക്കില്ല, എന്റെ കൈയൊക്കെ വേർക്കും. But our first 2 jobs എനിക്ക് കിട്ടിയില്ല. But by then I was so confident and I wasn't even worried. Oh, interview ആണ്, fine, I'll just take it in the car. And I was like able, because everything is in my head and it came more naturally.
Right.
So dream jobനെ മുന്നേ ഒരു 2-3 ഇന്റർവ്യൂ കൊടുക്കുന്നത് നല്ലതായിരിക്കും.
ഇത് ആക്ച്വലി എല്ലാ സീസണിലും, ഇപ്പൊ ഞാൻ ആമസോണിലാണെങ്കിലും ഞങ്ങൾ ഇന്റേണലി ഞാൻ ടീം മാറും. ഇപ്പൊ 4ാമത്തെ 5ാമത്തെ ടീമാണ്. അപ്പോഴും നമ്മൾ സെയിം ഇന്റർവ്യൂ കൊടുക്കണം. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ബ്രേക്ക് എടുത്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഇന്റർവ്യൂ എടുക്കുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ വിചാരിക്കും നമുക്ക് ഒന്നും അറിയില്ലല്ലോ. പക്ഷെ നമ്മള് 2 ഇന്റർവ്യൂ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് പഠിക്കുകയൊന്നുമില്ല, ബട്ട് ആ ഒരു ഫ്ലോ വരും, നമുക്ക് ഒരു ധൈര്യം, ഒരു കോൺഫിഡൻസ് വരും. But still പഠിക്കണം എന്നാലും.
Definitely, yeah. Our confidence will, the whoever is interviewing you, when they see that confidence itself, they will be impressed.
Yeah.
If you're getting a little bit nervous and we're not answering the question they're asking, then you might get some minus points.
So I think
our flow very more. It's good.
I think this is a good segue into Tariq. So Tariq, ഞങ്ങൾ ഇന്നലെ മീറ്റ് ചെയ്തായിരുന്നു, and the way he describes his job is maximum push ചെയ്യുക. So you have to be confident in what you talk about. So Tariq, ഒരു question ചോദിച്ചോളൂ.
So just adding to that, like hard skills is required, but you need to come across as who knows everything when you get into a job. Like that is more important. Even if you don't have the skill, you can get in the job and learn if you crack the interview. So the art of cracking interview is more around coming across as if you know skills rather than if you have it. Because I know a couple of my friends who are really skilled, but who can't crack interviews, and a couple of them who wing their way through.
Yeah, Google interview will be tough. You really have to know what you are. They'll ask you very specific, deep. They'll keep going deep just to make sure you really know what you're saying. So that will be. So you really have to prepare, and it's tough because they could ask anything, right? They can just choose, embedded systems, and you can ask anything from anywhere. So there's some luck also there, I think.
അത് embedded system lead code ഇല്ല, so it's difficult to. So yeah, lead code is basically it's a repository of software developer questions for those who are not aware of what lead code is.
Google interview, like unlike other interviews, Google interview is very unique, right? Like first level is usually taken by a peer, maybe first 2 levels, and then it actually goes up the ladder. So more tactical than strategic, more tactical. I'm gonna focus down on the creator into Google interviews. How did you feel like how the process was different compared to other companies?
Yeah, I mean their process is very clear. I mean, and very unbiased as much as they can. So they know they will prepare a few questions, and there are very specific things they are looking for. They are looking for first they won't let you just say the code and just say some logic and this is how you'll do it. They'll make sure you write some code. And then as you write it, they will ask, if there's a mistake, it's fine. They will point, okay, this is wrong. How can you fix it? And you really have to show your analytical and, code structure capability for software roles and technical roles. So, and then the feedback that they give will be very specific on what you said. It won't be like, in general, I like the candidate, please hire him. It's not like a one sentence. So the feedback is very structured. There is like, how did he do in this area, and then there's a committee that decides. So these are different stages of Google interview. So because of that, you really have to do well to get through. So in order to do well, you have to prepare well, your mind, you have to be in the zone, all of that things. Maybe you have to get lucky because you prepared for a particular question, something like that. But at some point you have to you just prepare well and be ready. That's all. And I'm sure you can all crack it.
Yeah. So
but I just
If you're
Okay,
interested, I don't know. Go ahead.
So
I will follow by it is very related. ചിലപ്പോൾ അവസാനം ചോദിക്കേണ്ട ക്വസ്റ്റൻ ആയിരുന്നു, ബട്ട് ലെറ്റ് മീ ട്രൈ ടു ഫ്രെയിം ഇറ്റ് ഇൻ എ ബെറ്റർ വേ. സോ സിൻസ് യു ആർ already in Google, right? So how can our alumni community leverage this? I mean, can you be a network lead and refer us? Can you do that in all categories like software development or embedded?
Yeah, generally I can refer, but not people who I don't know. So you all I've seen, so now I know you. In that sense, I can refer you. Again, anonymous side, we can't just refer people.
Okay.
So I can refer. If we've talked a little bit and I know you somewhat,
interest
some
challenge
rapport, yeah.
who are you?
Yeah.
Yes, good to know. Yeah.
But anyway, it's fine. If anyone wants to reach out to me, we can maybe chat a little bit on email.
Yeah.
I'm happy to refer.
So
Yes.
I tried getting into Google last year, പക്ഷെ കിട്ടിയില്ല. സോ അടുത്ത തവണ നിങ്ങൾ കുറച്ചും കൂടെ ലീനിയൻ്റ് ആവണമെന്നാണ് എൻ്റെ ഒരു റിക്വസ്റ്റ്. സോ ഐ വുഡ് റിയലി ലൈക്ക് ടു വർക്ക് അറ്റ് ഗൂഗിൾ. ഞാൻ പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യാം നെക്സ്റ്റ് ടൈം, ബട്ട് ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി ഹോപ്പ്ഫുള്ളി ഐ കൻ ഗെറ്റ് ഇൻ സം ടൈം.
അതെ, ഞാനും വരുന്നുണ്ട് 2023 പ്രിപ്പറേഷൻ ഇന്റർവ്യൂവിന് വരുന്നുണ്ട്. സോറി.
Even if you fail, they give you multiple chances on other roles. Keep applying.
So the thing with Google is, ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം ഇന്റർവ്യൂ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ you have to wait. If you don't clear it, you have to wait a year. So and correct ഒരു year ആയപ്പോൾ I got a call back saying, do you want to interview? So I had recently moved to Cisco ആ സമയത്ത്. So I said I'm not looking to move. പക്ഷെ they were very specific ആയിട്ട് ഒരു വർഷം കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് they called, do you want to interview with us again? So like, and in terms of an interview experience, Google was the best interview experience. Like അവർ ചോദിച്ച ചോദ്യം was amazing. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് even though I didn't get the job, the recruiter called me and talked to me for 5 minutes telling me what areas I can improve and how I should apply again, because they felt like there is something that if you work on it, you can get into Google, but you're not there yet. So അവർ പറയാണ് like these are things you have to do to get into Google, and I really appreciate that about Google. ശരിക്കും
Yeah, that doesn't happen often.
most of the time, most of the time you are reaching out to them, right?
Yeah.
Facebook interview, I had to call the guy like for about 2 weeks to hear back from them, but Google was a totally different experience. So I'll bring it back to Ashwini if you want to ask a question.
Yeah, I actually had a follow-up to this. So like I have never thought of going into Google because completely different area. But is it the same process anywhere over the world, like the number of interviews you gave or the different interview steps to get into Google?
Sorry, Kitty, I didn't understand the question. You said
like if I'm applying from India, or if I'm applying from Canada, or if I'm applying from US, is it the same interview? They have a standard system?
Yeah. That's what I haven't interviewed from other places, but I think it's the same standard. And because we have a system, whole system built around this, how to provide feedback and then the committee and all this. So I think across the world it's the same.
Yeah. So how many rounds of interviews did you have?
Yeah, so I had one phone interview, one on-site, which had 5 people interview.
Wow.
5 people. And that's it. But that's pretty standard.
That's pretty standard, right? For most tech companies, yeah.
That's actually less, I felt. Like, because even in my field, I'll have an HR round, then 2 rounds with like my reporting manager and the HR. But like one of my friends, he's in embedded systems. I don't know which company, but he had like 8 rounds of interview, and like in each, it's a 1-hour interview with different programming, technical questions. So I was like, oh, maybe Google has the same.
Yeah, 8 is too much. 5 തന്നെ നമുക്ക് ഇച്ചിരി കൂടുതലാണെന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നാറുണ്ട്. 8 is.
But I think there is just a point to add, I think there are slight nuances across different parts of the world, because India and Google നമുക്ക് referral ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ like we are referred like 3 roles in one referral. And there's a period of like 90 days where you cannot be referred to the same role.
It's the same in the US.
Oh, but 1 year because I have friends who have interviewed in a gap of 3 to 4 months across 3 positions, and third one he cracked through. So 1 year same profile like exact അതേ profile ഒരു വർഷം കഴിഞ്ഞ് apply ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ, but you'll be able to apply to other profiles, I think.
Okay. That might be true, yeah.
I don't know. One thing I know my colleague had got through.
Right.
Yeah, other roles. ഇത് ഇപ്പൊ ഞങ്ങളുടെ കമ്പനിയിലും ഉണ്ട്. നമ്മളിപ്പോ ഒരു ഫീഡ്ബാക്ക് കൊടുക്കുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ നോട്ട് ഇൻക്ലൈൻഡ് കൊടുക്കുമ്പോൾ അവർ ചോദിക്കും, I mean, do you recommend him to the other roles? അപ്പൊ ഇതേ സെയിം റോളിലേക്ക് നമ്മൾ റീസൈക്കിൾ ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഡിപ്പെൻസ്, ചിലപ്പോൾ 1 year ആയിരിക്കും, 2 year ആയിരിക്കും. പക്ഷെ അതർ റോൾസിലേക്ക് പോകാൻ പറ്റും. സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ ഡെവലപ്മെന്റ് അല്ല, ചിലപ്പോൾ ഒരു ഒരു നേരെ മാനേജ്മെന്റ് റോളിലേക്ക് ഹീസ് ഫിറ്റ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് നമ്മൾ റെഫർ ചെയ്യും.
ഓക്കെ, വിഷ്ണുവിനൊരു ചോദ്യം. സോ വിഷ്ണു, ഞാൻ ഒരു ചോദ്യം ചോദിക്കാനായിട്ട് പറയാം. SCT കുറിച്ചുള്ള എന്തെങ്കിലും ആ ചോദ്യം ചോദിക്കാവോ പ്ലീസ്? ഇല്ല, അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ ചോദിച്ചതുപോലെ ആയില്ലേ? സോ ഇതിപ്പോ വിഷ്ണു ചോദിച്ചതായില്ലേ?
ഇപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെ തോന്നിയില്ല അല്ലെ?
അതാ, ഇപ്പൊ തോന്നിയില്ലല്ലോ.
എനിക്ക് 2005 കോളേജിന്റെ college was completely different from when we joined or when we left. So what do you miss the most about SCT after all these years?
I think mainly it's that freedom and the friends, that's the main thing. Our age was like so little bit, innocent and free in terms of no, responsibility, tough responsibilities as a adult, like that, So in that time, when the friends you make is also natural and so, just so much fun, right? So that's what I miss the most. SCT, we just go to that canteen, and I don't know now how the canteen is. That time it was very small, but it was a fun place to go.
The funny thing is, നമ്മൾ വിളിച്ചിട്ടുള്ള എല്ലാ ഗസ്റ്റും പറയുന്നത് their favorite memory is at the canteen.
That was a fun place. അവിടുത്തെ പഴംപൊരിയും ഓംലെറ്റ്.
നമ്മുടെ ക്യാൻറ്റീൻ ഏറ്റവും ചെറിയ ക്യാൻറ്റീനാണ് ബാക്കിയുള്ള കോളേജ് വെച്ച് നോക്കുമ്പോൾ. But still everybody's memory is revolving around canteen.
Yeah, I think അതല്ല something special. കാരണം എല്ലാവരും ഇങ്ങനെ everyone we are forced to sit close to each other, right? എന്നിട്ട് നമ്മൾ വേറൊരാൾ വരുമ്പോൾ they are so close, so then we'll say നിങ്ങളും കൂടെ join ചെയ്യുക, and then we'll bring all those tables together. ദൂരെയാണെങ്കിൽ then we won't tell them അവരവിടെ ഇരിക്കട്ടെ. Now everyone is, you can see them right there, so then you'll tell them to come. So then we have that bonding. So canteen was something
it's
special.
good to know things haven't changed since 2005.
Yeah, anyway, that's what I miss the most, the friends and just that freedom to be yourself. And the fun canteen and all the events that we had.
Nice. Hari or Tariq, if you want to go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Now, how you compare and contrast like life in Bay Area and back life in Texas now?
It's very different. So here, but since I didn't go to work yet, so because of COVID, it's a little bit difficult to compare. But I think here, in terms of cost of living, is much lower. Right, for X amount of dollars, you will get certain house. Here you will get 4 times better in terms of 4 times, because not the size also. It's like in terms of reduced commute, size of the house, the cost is half, commute is half, or maybe 1/4, and then space is double. So if you multiply all that, it may be more than 4 or 8 or something. So that's the difference between there and here. And then of course here it's a little bit less congested. That's what so we like that. പിള്ളേരെയും കൊണ്ട് നമ്മൾ ഒരു കാറിനകത്തൊക്കെ പോകുമ്പോൾ you don't have to fight with other people to park and go into the grocery store and all. There it's little, a lot of people, very crowded. So അങ്ങനത്തെ few things are more convenient here. Weather ഇതുവരെ അറിയത്തില്ല. I came in September and good weather, little bit cold, it's okay. But സമ്മറിൽ ഇവിടെ ഭയങ്കര ചൂടാണെന്നാണ് എല്ലാവരും പറയുന്നത്. So it might be tough, Bay Area, and then I will be really missing Bay Area.
So we'll ask this question to you in 5 months, 5 or 6 months.
3 months.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. Too early to tell.
Yeah, anyway, I think നമ്മളൊരു half an hour mark എത്തി. So let's maybe wrap it up with one more question and then we can call it a day. Anybody?
Yeah. ഞാൻ ചോദിക്കാം. അപ്പം ഇതുവരെയുള്ള ഗൂഗിൾ from all your experiences at Google, can you rate the best maybe 1 or 2 things that have happened after you have joined Google?
After joining Google, so the one thing is, since I work in the Chromebooks, one thing I really love is how when we launch a Chromebook, within 1 week there will be YouTube videos and website reviews about that Chromebook. So the Chromebook that I worked from, kind of like my baby, I worked from the design proposal in a slide, and then the partners work on it, and we go through hundreds of bugs, we fix it, launch it, and then people are talking about it. It's like a really memorable and a fun thing. So whereas when I was working in Broadcom, it was more of there's like chips and also അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു experience ഇല്ല അവിടെ. So that is something that I found really amazing. As Google products, everyone is watching to see how good it is. If it's bad, they will call you out. So there is a real focus on product quality, and we have to make sure we do good. Otherwise, it will be on the news.
We were talking about Pixel 6. When are you going to fix Pixel 6 issues? There are a lot of issues, pending issues on the bugs. Okay, fix it better.
ആദ്യം ഞാൻ ഈ Chromebook ഒന്ന് ഫിക്സ് ചെയ്യട്ടെ, എന്നിട്ട് Pixel നോക്കാം.
അത് ഞാൻ ഇതൊന്ന് പൊളിച്ചടക്കിക്കോട്ടെ.
അല്ല, ഇപ്പൊ എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്ത് നോക്കുമ്പോ ആർ യു ലൈക്ക് എ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ഡിസൈൻ ഓർ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ഓണർ?
Yeah, in a sense, I'm also a product owner because I work in this technical account manager. So I have an account, which is one particular partner who makes laptops, right? So I focus on them. So they propose different Chromebooks. We are going to make this in 2022. I'm going to make 5 different types, and then I will be assigned to 1 or 2 of those. So I have to partner with them, make sure that they will submit all of their specs and things. So Google is very involved in Chromebook development. It's not like the partner just develops themselves. We are, it's a very 50-50 partnership. So we make sure everything, the product quality, specs, everything is met. And then we give guidance in terms of the product. That's all. For those specific, but we have product management team who gives guidance across all projects, but I am specific to a particular account. So I work with them.
So you can still influence on designs or something. I mean, product design, right?
Yes. So
product discounts undo ആർക്കെങ്കിലും ഷെയർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ഡിസ്കൗണ്ട്സും ഉണ്ട്?
Product discounts. Yeah, I don't know.
Relevant question.
Maybe one-on-one connect.
One-on-one. Vishnu is close by. He can come over and I can share a few things. But
so I think
across the border,
Vineeth, when you had that session with the juniors, Google-ne kurichu paranjappo rendu കാര്യങ്ങൾ I remember. I still keep it in my mind. One was mentorship, and the second one was doing a post-mortem after the product something has gone wrong or whatever. So aa rendu കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഒന്ന് briefly ഒന്ന് describe ചെയ്യും, because at Cisco we have this sort of mentorship program. So ഞാൻ join chip, I was assigned a mentor. Like he's a very experienced person, and I really like that. Like it's helping me grow in my career at Cisco. So if you can just briefly touch on those 2 topics.
So for mentorship, I think we should all try to find a mentor. How we find it's not an easy answer. Naturally, you might find somebody among your colleagues who you connect with very well, and you can ask them to see if they can be your mentor, and they will give you so many perspectives and knowledge that you may never read in any book, right? So, and then we had a program in Google for mentorship. So I signed up for that, and somebody was assigned to me, and she was maybe 10 years more experienced than me. So she gave me a lot of input, and we will work together also in different meetings. She's also there in the same product area. So she would notice what I'm doing in a meeting and then give feedback later about what I did good and what I did bad. It's very useful to hear that, because then you really think about it. Otherwise, if you just give self-inspection, you may miss a lot of things, like a lot of blind spots for our own work. So that is one thing about mentorship. And then talking about what are the areas you can learn, what are the things she has done in her career that I can do. And she's much senior. So those kind of things, it really helps, because there's so many different things we can do in our career, right? We can stay in one track or become a manager, or go to a different group, different company. All these things we could do, right? What should we do, right? So mentor can help you, talk about all those things and maybe give you very good feedback. So that was mentorship. The other one you were talking about is post-mortem, right? In Google, have this post-mortem culture, which is very important, I think, to any product company. You release a product, and then you realize, okay, there were some mistakes made, right? If you can, we document those as part of our Google culture, and disseminate those to all teams so that everyone can take a look, read, and then when people read it, they really inculcate that into their future products. So there's we are making products every day, new things. We're making decisions every day. So, and people have learned from the past, so that learning has to go across the company, right? well, across the company is difficult. There's too many people, but at least within our group, Chroma as a group, we try to share and we read up on those. And
so ഇത് യൂസ്ഫുൾ ആണ്. So this is very important, യൂസ്ഫുൾ ആണെന്ന് അറിയാം. So ഇത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് I am starting a new feedback form. അത് ഇപ്പൊ തന്നെ കിട്ടും, and I would like if you can complete it.
Definitely.
Yeah, okay. So I think we've crossed the 30-minute mark, and thank you so much, Vineeth, for spending some time with us. Like രണ്ട് വാക്ക് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് wrap up ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ you can wrap up.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, guys. This was it's fun. It's really encouraging to see all the activity on the WhatsApp group and how everyone is like supercharged, and great work, Atul and team. You guys all are. I'm glad to see how you're so passionate about this, the alumni network, and developing this network. So all the best. Hope that we see more. Definitely want to see more, and connect more folks in the alumni. And over the years, probably this group will be the pioneers in this area, right?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Maybe the younger people will be talking 50 years from now, they'll be talking about this podcast and everything. So
Definitely, like our network create ചെയ്യാനാണ് നമ്മളിവിടെ attempt ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത്.
So we are not in an apocalyptic world, that is.
We need to see what kind of movies Ashwini is watching.
Ashwini is watching.
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I watch zombie movies.
Okay.
ബയോടെക്കാർ അങ്ങനെയാണല്ലേ?
എല്ലാ ബയോടെക്കാരില്ല, ചില ബയോടെക്കാർ.
നമ്മൾ ഈ സോഷ്യൽ മീഡിയ അങ്ങനത്തെ മൂവീസ് ഒക്കെ വാച്ച് ചെയ്യുന്ന
Resident Evil കണ്ട ആൾക്കാർക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവും. It was a pharmaceutical company.
Anyway,
ഗെയിം കളിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്, റെസിഡന്റ് ഈവിൾ. ആ ഗെയിം ഫുൾ, that's a scary game.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks everyone for spending your time with us. Thanks Vineeth especially. I hope you had a good time. I mean, ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് കുറച്ചുകൂടെ ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ ചോദിക്കാറുണ്ട്, but I think we just want to limit it to 30 minutes. വരേണ്ടി വരും.
Yeah. Definitely, maybe 6 months from now, I can even give you more input about Texas.
Yeah, definitely. We'd love to have you on
Happy
again.
to join.
Yeah.
Happy to join.
Yeah.
It was fun talking to everyone.
Yeah, thank you Vineeth, thank you Ashwini, thank you Vishnu, thank you Hari, thank you Tariq. Take care everyone.
Bye everyone.
Thanks everyone.
Enjoy.
Bye.